CBS News Bay Area Afternoon Edition with Ann Mekovic.
Thanks for joining us. We begin with sad news in the world of music and entertainment. Heavy metal legend Ozzy Osbourne has died. That is according to a statement from his family to CBS News partner BBC News. The frontman for Black Sabbath was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in 2020, and earlier this year he said he could no longer walk. His death, though, comes just weeks after the band's farewell show in their hometown of Aston, England. Black Sabbath had a nearly 60-year-long career. Ozzy Osbourne was 76 years old. All right, turning to our first alert weather now, gloomy and overcast in parts of the Bay Area. We've even seen some rare July rain this week. Let's get right over to meteorologist Jessica Birch, because it's just really, really humid.
It's cool, it's humid, relative humidity is high right now, so let's dive into what we're seeing currently, because as we head outside, it's still gray, it's still cool, it's still cloudy, widespread throughout the bay. We're going to continue to hold on tight to these cool conditions lasting into this afternoon. It's been one of the coolest Julys on record, actually just summers in total in record, when it comes to San Francisco and the surrounding Bay Area cities. Now, throughout this afternoon, what we're going to see is that rain that we saw this morning, it's going to taper off. We're just dealing with cool, dense clouds into the evening hours tonight. Waking up tomorrow morning, we have another chance of light drizzle just along the coastline, too. And that's the case as we head into the next couple mornings. Now, winds are relatively light. They'll kick up a bit more into the afternoon hours, but let's talk about some other things going on for us. Daytime highs, usually in our East Bay or all the way down into the Santa Clara Valley, are sitting in the 80s, 90s, in the middle of July after all. Today we're in the 70s, and that's been the case so far this week. That's the case as we wrap up this week. We're below average throughout the next 6 to 10 days, and the Climate Prediction Center talks a lot about that too. I'll show you it in just a bit. Now, as we head over into San Francisco and Half Moon Bay, our climate zones there are also holding on tight to 60s. This is more average for this time of year, especially along the coastal communities. I'll talk more about what we can expect as we head into this weekend's forecast coming up in just a bit, but for now, back to you.
All right, thanks, Jess. Changes in mail service in the wake of that post office fire over the weekend. Starting today, people in South San Jose can pick up their mail at the Willow Glen Post Office. Pickup is available between 10 and 2 p.m. The Elmidon Post Office is closed after this crash and fire Sunday that investigators say was arson. Post office officials say they were able to salvage some mail from the fire, and it's been moved to Willow Glen. Police say Richard Tillman is accused of ramming his car into the building and setting that fire. He is the brother of this man, the late NFL player and Army Ranger Pat Tillman. Today, supervisors in San Francisco will hold the final vote on a nearly $16 billion budget. That funds public safety and makes steep cuts to nonprofits and city departments, all to balance the budget and close a $782 million budget deficit. Also on the agenda today, final approval on new RV parking restrictions. Instead of RVs being allowed to park overnight, San Francisco is setting a new 2-hour limit. That policy will impact at least 400 recreational vehicles in the city that right now serve as homes for people who can't afford housing. People living in RVs are worried about what's next.
It's not easy to be in a place like this. It's not easy, but they try to do it even harder, which I don't think is right. So where are we going to move then?
The final vote comes a few months after San Francisco closed its only RV safe parking site over infrastructure issues and a high price tag. This new policy does allow some registered RVs to remain parked if they are actively engaging with city services. The Alameda County Board of Supervisors holding a special meeting today to discuss how to use Measure W funds, a coalition of elected officials and community groups urging the board to spend the hundreds of millions of dollars in recently freed up sales tax revenue on homelessness programs and services. Voters narrowly approved that half-cent sales tax proposal for housing and shelters back in 2020. The future of the Oakland Coliseum could be taking a big step forward today. Leaders in Alameda County voting on the transfer of the Coliseum to a group of private investors. If approved, the African American Sports and Entertainment Group would acquire the county's 50% stake in the 112-acre site. Developers plan to add housing, retail, restaurants, a hotel, and some kind of pro sports attraction to the property. President Trump is pulling the U.S. from UNESCO, that is the United Nations Culture and Education Agency. This decision is the latest in the administration's campaign to reshape U.S. diplomacy. This is the second time the U.S. has withdrawn from the organization, just 2 years after it rejoined under the Biden administration. A State Department spokesperson claims the organization's acceptance of Palestine as a member state is contrary to U.S. policy. But two European diplomats say this continues Trump's decisions to pull the U.S. from international institutions that he has criticized. This decision set to go into effect in December 2026. President Trump hosting the president of the Philippines at the White House, and he just announced on social media the two have reached a trade deal. President Trump says the deal includes a 19% tariff on products imported from the Philippines. He also said the Philippines will lift all tariffs on U.S. goods. Well, the Philippines has not yet confirmed the agreement or any details. Still ahead here at noon and streaming on CBS News Bay Area, the community reacting after a famed drag club says it's closing. Taking a look back at its history and what's next for the owner. And Grateful Dead fans will soon be taking over Golden Gate Park, the colorful kickoff to next week's events. And let's take another live look outside before we head to break, as we have been talking about this gloomy, wet-ish weather. That is a live look along the Embarcadero. We're going to be right back. Well, the countdown is on for Dead & Company taking over Golden Gate Park. The 3-day event is going to start on August 1st, which is also Jerry Garcia's birthday. 60,000 people expected to fill the park every night. Muni hopes to take them around in newly designed tie-dye buses for the occasion. The band, of course, has deep ties in the Haight-Ashbury neighborhood, and businesses there say they are ready to welcome all Deadheads.
The whole city is going to be alive with grooviness and tie-dye and magic. But what I'm really excited for people to see is the San Francisco that I see every day.
Well, Mayor Daniel Lurie says hotel demand for next week is up 53%. Reaction pouring in after the famed San Francisco drag club Oasis announced that it is closing its doors. The club's co-founder says they've been struggling with razor-thin margins and they can no longer afford to operate, with plans to close at the start of next year. Armanda Harry talked with him about the club's history and what's next.
The show will go on at Oasis, but only for a little bit longer. Co-founder Darcy Drollinger announced Monday that the nightclub will shut its doors for good by January 1st, 2026.
I feel heartbroken, and I also am overwhelmed by the outpouring of love.
Drollinger was emotional as he spoke about what Oasis has meant to him.
This place is my life, and we've been around for 11 years, and I've blood, sweat, and tears to make this space and community viable. Despite being a top destination for drag and queer entertainment, they never made a profit, especially after the pandemic. Every month, he's been subsidizing the club, cashing out the majority of his retirement to do so. It really made me realize what we do here, as fabulous as it is, isn't sustainable anymore. But Monday night, just hours after the news of the closure, the club was full. Drollinger says it's a happy coincidence that the announcement fell on the same day as the Heclina tribute show to raise money to digitize and organize tapes of her work. Drollinger co-founded Oasis with Heclina, and people gathered at Oasis back in 2023 when she died. This has been a place for people all the time to show up when they needed a space to be together. And I feel like, there's a lot of people here for Heclina, but there's also a lot of people here that just need to feel a sense of community tonight. J.A. Valentine has been both a performer and a patron of the club, calling it a home away from home. He says the community is something special.
This audience is like nothing else. The camaraderie that happens backstage, the theater that gets produced, and I think what I like best about all the shows here are that no one's ever satisfied with where they're at. It always needs to be the best laugh possible.
Valentine and Drollinger are hopeful those laughs will continue. Drollinger plans to continue programming shows through his nonprofit, Oasis Arts.
And that isn't going to go away. And so I'm hoping that that can continue to support artists in some shape or form. It might be in other venues or other events.
Drollinger announced the closure early so people would come out and say one last goodbye. He hopes they'll have enough support to keep operating for the rest of the year. The club opened on New Year's Eve in 2014. He feels it would be poetic to close on New Year's Eve as well.
I'm profoundly grateful and so proud of what we've done. And, I wish that it could continue. And I hope that this inspires someone else to create a space that can be this for so many people.
Well, taking a live look at Levi Stadium, the 49ers are reporting for training camp today in Santa Clara, and then they're on the field for their first practice tomorrow. CBS News Bay Area is your home for 49ers preseason football. We are counting down to the first preseason game when the Broncos come to Levi's. That is on Saturday, August 9th, and you can watch that game at 5:30 on KPIX. Back to our first alert weather now, because it's just been weird outside. Let's take a live look from our Mount Diablo camera right now. Blue skies in the inland areas finally, but meteorologist Jessica Birch, tell us what's going on here.
No, I like what you said. Let's just stick to it and then skip weather. It's weird outside. Back to you. No, in all reality, though, it has been a little weird. Relative humidity is high along the coast right now. It's cool. It's cloudy. We were dealing with some light rain earlier in the city of San Francisco and just along the coastline. But that's been the case each morning this week, and it's going to continue to be the case each morning, too. Luckily, like you saw that live look in our inland areas, we're starting to see some sunshine mixed with those clouds still, too. And daytime highs today are seasonably cool. We're talking about 70s in the forecast, and places like Antioch that usually are sitting in the 90s. I mean, even triple digits around this time of year. So this whole week, we're gearing up for cool, cloudy weather in the forecast for us, widespread throughout the bay, from our microclimates along the coast that are used to this, all the way off into our inland spots that, let's be honest, aren't that used to this. Now, as we head into the evening hours tonight, we'll continue to watch those clouds roll in from offshore. We're also gearing up for some gustier winds, anywhere up to around 20, 25 miles per hour into the evening hours tonight. Here's the other thing I want to talk about, and this just got updated, actually. So in the next 6 to 10 days, the Climate Prediction Center puts out a temperature outlook, and it's still showing us dealing with below normal conditions. So that actually matches up exactly with what I'm about to show you. Our inland areas holding on tight to upper 70s, not only tomorrow, but lasting into our Saturday forecast this week, too. Those cloudy skies filling the bay each morning, breaking apart into the afternoon hours. As we head into early next week, notice how we jump from the 70s back into the 80s. That little bit of a warm up is high pressure impacting our local climates, and it's going to warm us up. It drops relative humidity. We're going to see sunnier skies off in the distance. And for our friends, even in the bay, we're going to see a little bit of a warm up too. Nothing crazy to write home about by any means, but it is worth noting that's the trend that we're heading towards. But more on that coming up in a bit. For now, back to you.
All right, thank you, Jess. Taking a live look at Chase Center, where Lady Gaga's Mayhem Ball Tour is making a stop starting today. This is a part of Gaga's first world tour since 2018. It follows her big Coachella appearance. The Grammy and Oscar award winner, is bringing 3 nights of mayhem to the city with shows tonight, Thursday, and Saturday. And Caltrain rolling out its special themed cars for the show with an onboard costume and look-alike contest, plus merch giveaways. You can find those cars on the northbound 523 express train. So still ahead. We all know it's not good to keep your emotions bottled up. Well, we are looking at 2 ways to let off steam and maybe even improve your health. Well, we've all heard laughter is the best medicine. Well, it turns out there might be something to that saying. Studies show that laughter is associated with a number of benefits and can positively affect the immune system, stress levels, heart health, pain, and mental health. Experts with UCLA Health and the Mayo Clinic have a simple suggestion to take advantage of this. Be an easy laugh, meaning find the humor in the people and places around you. You can also, of course, look up funny videos on the internet.
Feel better. I've done a deep dive on the science of it, and I mean, it can help your immune system, your cardiovascular system, it lowers stress hormones, and interestingly enough, it can actually decrease pain. And it looks like it increases endorphins in the brain when you have a big belly laugh. And
CBS News chief medical correspondent Dr. John LaPook says, bottom line, laughter just makes you feel better. And from laughing to something totally opposite now, a group in Chicago has found an unorthodox way to let off some steam. 2, 1. Scream Club Chicago. They meet on the lakefront every weekend. They breathe deeply and collectively scream into open air over Lake Michigan. Manny Hernandez is a breathwork coach. He started the group as an outlet to deal with stress, inviting others to join on social media. The weekly therapy sessions are getting more popular.
What's bringing me back out here really is that there are things I'm ready to let go of, that I'm finally have an outlet where I can get it out of my system.
I think this is a good way for us to be able to, in a healthy way, release whatever we have going on inside out into the void.
Scream Club Chicago meets every Sunday and all gatherings are free. Well, finding this might make you scream, where a python managed to slither into some trouble. All right, well, you know, we're fans of public transit here, but this might make you rethink some things. You've heard of snakes on a plane. How about on a train? Meet Lucius. He's a ball python who got into a bit of trouble. He was found coiled up inside a control panel Saturday on a Chicago Transit Authority train. Members of the Oak Park, Illinois Fire Department were called in to free Lucius and return him to his owner. You might have seen him in that prior picture. There he is. He happened to be dressed like a pirate. We're not sure why. He's obviously a little eccentric. Of course, they all posed for a picture. And in case you're wondering, yeah, the snake is named after the character Lucius Malfoy in the Harry Potter book series. That is going to do it for us at noon. Remember, we are streaming 24/7 on the free CBS News app. Enjoy your Tuesday afternoon.